And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for the Polish-American Brotherhood. Łęczyca may not be as known as Warsaw or Krakow for Polish tourist destinations, but it's a sweet off-the-beaten-path day trip if you are in the city of Łódź. Beginning our top 5, visit the town hall and the old market square. Łęczyca was chartered under German law before 1260. The oldest brick town hall mentioned already in the late 14th century was located in the central part of the market square. The old town is surrounded by colorful, restored middle-class tenement houses from the 19th century. The historic market underwent revitalization in 2012. On the finger stands the classicist town hall, built in the 18th century. The building, designed in the classical style, was converted in the 1920s and provided with eclectic features with neo-Renaissance elements. The original appearance of the building was restored on the basis of architectural studies. Next to Town Hall, on the square stands the monument of the Virgin Mary. The monument commemorates the inhabitants of Łęczyca, who after the end of World War I in 1918 disarmed the German soldiers. The local name is Tadeusz Kościuszko Square. Number 2, be royal at Casimir III the Great's castle. The castle of Łęczyca, located in the heart of Poland, is a magnificent structure that has been towering over the city with its massive red brick silhouette for 6 centuries. The castle was built by King Casimir the Great in the mid-14th century, but within its walls, the significant castle also hosted other Polish rulers. Suffice it to say that Jagiełło stayed here 36 times. That is why Łęczyca is proudly called the Royal City. An interesting fact from this first chapter of the history of the castle in Łęczyca is the fact that it was here, after the defeat of the Teutonic Knights at Grunwald, that in 1410 some important prisoners of the order were placed under guard where they waited for redemption. The castle attracts tourists in large numbers not only because of its Gothic walls and interesting interiors, but also because of the legend of the devil Boruta, who liked this castle, and it's famous all over Poland. The legend of Boruta is an ancient tale dating back to the 10th century. Taking place in Łęczyca, Poland, the legend describes the events that took place where people would suddenly disappear beneath the catacombs of a particular church located just outside the city. Number 3. Travel back in time to a 19th century village. It is impossible not to say a few words about the windmill from Łęczyca. Its history began where it stands today, in the village of Kwiatkówek. It was here that the windmill was built around 1820, and in 1900 it was moved to the nearby village of Zawada, where it worked using only wind power until 1957. Inside, there is an exhibition depicting the local windmilling at the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. We've got original Polish village life behind me. So this is a museum now, but it is closed until April because of COVID time, so we can't go in. And my dad was telling me that this little guy over here is an original refrigerator. It says 1848. So could you imagine living back then? No refrigerator in the house. You have to go outside in the dead of winter. Actually, in Poland, it's frigidly cold during the winter. You gotta go outside from the farmhouse to your refrigerator over here.
I remember when I was going to Mom's village, the buildings looked the same thing, the straw roof, and it was painted white like that, exactly like this the house looks like. From here you see the 1,000-year-old church tomb.
We're visiting what my family fondly calls the 1,000-year-old church. It's a 12th century church located in Tum, Poland. Number 4. See the 1,000-year-old church the devil tried to destroy. The Collegiate Church in Tum, Collegiate Church of the Blessed Virgin Mary and Saint Alexius, is a wonderful national heritage dating back to the times of the formation of Polish statehood, which must be visited on your Łęczyca tourist route. It is the cradle of Polishness. The famous Collegiate Church of Tum is in fact the ark of one of the most beautiful and valuable Romanesque buildings in Poland, and thus the most important point of the Romanesque trail. The consecration of the temple took place on May 21st, 1161, and that is how old Łęczyca is. Cross the threshold of the beautiful Romanesque portal, trampled by the centuries of walking here, and look into the raw, magnificent interior of the temple. It houses valuable elements of Romanesque furnishings, including a well-preserved 12th century Romanesque polychrome with Christ.
Age here, when you are here, you feel like you are in the 12th century. Tum, is a small village, and we have a big church. We are on a site of Łęczyca. It's a city which is about 10 kilometers from Ozorków. That's where I was born and raised, in Ozorków. And we came here to show you the 1,000 years old church. So we have a river not too far, Zura, and the river is between Łęczyca and this church. So basically Bolesław Krzywousty, at that time they built the church. Bolesław Krzywousty was the prince at that time, then he became king. and they call him Krzywousty, which means crooked lips. But this church is original way, as was in 12th century even. I remember when we came with Tara about a few years ago, they've been rebuilding, so we couldn't see the church inside. But the church, there is a legend about the devil Boruta, who didn't like the church and he tried to destroy it, so there is a still finger, you know. We're gonna go over there and show you the finger where the devil tried to destroy the church by ripping out with his hands. But I guess the God's is watching this church and he didn't let him to destroy this church.
Boruta is also known as the Black Devil with a tail and pitchfork, usually seen around the collegiate church and tomb. It is said that at one time, Boruta emerged from the catacombs and upon witnessing the church, attempted to push it over. Evidence of Boruta's presence can be seen around the church today. Holes that resemble large imprints of fingers can be seen at the eastern side of the church walls. Sword slashes can be seen across the wall as well.
And you see the fingers here when the devil Boruta tried to grab it and destroy the church. But like I said before, he couldn't handle. The God is protecting this church.
Like this? You put your hands, the devil put his fingers over here and just throw the church this way.
The devil Boruta.
The devil Boruta.
According to the legend, a woman wandered tirelessly around the world. Once very tired, she came to a village near Łęczyca, knocked on the door and asked for shelter. She overheard the townspeople discussing a decision of where to build the church. Early in the morning, while everyone was asleep, the girl went to the field and started digging the ground and making a mound out of it. And so a church was erected on the hill and the village was named Mount St. Margaret. Rounding off our top 5, lastly, climb the legendary Mount St. Margaret. The first documentation of the village from 1145 mentions that the Chapel of Mary stands on the top. The monks used it to create a monastery chapel dedicated to the Mother of God. A parish was established in Mount St. Margaret in the 12th century. The historic parish of St. Margaret was built around 1250 in the Romanesque style and rebuilt many times over the next century. Hey guys, Tara Szczepanski here. Thanks for checking out our top 5 Łęczyca. Be sure you hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video. Connect
Connect with me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Poem Brotherhood.